All right.
Okay, Dan the man.
Good
Jeepers.
good to see you.
Absolutely, things have changed now. You're on the water again and you got this far.
Yeah, we're 600 miles in.
Yeah.
Pre-qualifier done.
Yeah.
Felt good.
Yeah,
It
well,
was a good run.
I'm certainly looking forward to go through your boat. Just so you know, I haven't even been inside his boat yet.
Yeah.
So this is new for me as well.
Yeah, not once yet.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
And one of the oldest boats.
Yeah, absolutely. We started a conversation a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and everything, you know, asking all the early questions because you're one of the really early builders, you know, that got underway. Building in the snow and the ice.
Bought the plans in March of 2020, right after similar, you know. Right after the plans come out, and then never really started building until the end of June that year. So, and then COVID and all kinds of stuff like that. So I continued the build through COVID, and then launched in August. Yeah, August of 2021.
Yeah, cool.
Just after your boat.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll talk about that more when we're inside.
Yeah.
We'll go through the nuts and bolts. But can you believe where you are at the moment? We're just about to go.
I have to pinch myself a lot because it's just I can't believe that this is all happening.
Yeah, exactly.
And here we are. We're ready to head across the Atlantic on Saturday, which is amazing.
Yeah.
My wife texted me this morning. She says, "Are you actually doing this? Is this for real?"
You want to change your mind?
It's like it's pretty crazy. And now it's great because we have, you know, there's 11 other sailboats.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to be crazy, but it helps.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's neat to be with everybody, the camaraderie and helping each other. It's been great, and we have lots of good laughs.
I got to say, there's something really super special. I mean, the Golden Globe has its own feeling. The first Golden Globe, and the Ocean Globe we just did the first one. This is upside down. It's completely different. I don't know what it is, but it's really intense, really close.
We've gelled. Yeah, there's 5 or 6 of us most every night go hang out and have some food and a drink, and it's been nice.
Good to see. Anyway, back to business.
Yeah,
We're doing a boat tour. This is a boat tour. No boring alert.
Yeah.
First of all, I got to say, your boat interests me because it's some of them are going high tech for speed, and this, that, and the other. Yours is not set up for slow, but it's really a combination of solid seaworthy.
Bit of a mix of both.
Absolutely, bit of a mix. But the thing that shocked me, I never knew you were going across the North Atlantic until you're halfway across.
Right.
You were just doing your own thing.
I was doing my own thing.
Doing your own thing, just get on with it.
Trying to be stealthy and
just so you know, when I saw it, I said to Jay, "Holy, check this dude!" You know, we knew you, but I hadn't spoken to you for about probably 9 months or something when you at that stage. And and I thought, I don't know whether I'd take it across that way.
Typically that's a challenging route, but it ended up working out quite well in terms of the winds and stuff like that. And I don't know, I think maybe I talked to you about that before, but there was a tropical depression that was coming up from the south of the Azores. Yeah. And then it was a named storm, and it was named Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was interesting. So I spent spent 7 days avoiding you.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, it was an epic story.
But I caught some good breeze. I had some good people behind me. My manager, Captain Morgan, and Pete Kenyon. Actually, he was helping me with routing, and actually Edward, GGR Edward, from Halifax, he was helping me. And so Azores sailed the whole way. Was becalmed for a few days. And then another 12 days to get to Portugal after that. It was a good run.
Okay, all right, back into it. Where's your glasses, your sunglasses?
The Canadian ones. They're down below somewhere.
Oh, specials.
Yeah,
they're specials now.
Special times. So in terms of the boat build, there's a few of us that you sold plans to, and I'm one of the only ones here that has actually built my boat by hand. So I didn't use the kit, and I cut every piece by hand and just had the bare sheets of plywood. And I enjoy that. That's the construction piece was a really alluring part of the boat.
I remember our conversations, you know, because you were on the early ones and I was feeling my way a bit as well, but I was always impressed with your expertise, like engineering expertise or hands-on attitude, building under the house, in the snow and everything, in the middle of the Canadian winters and all that sort of stuff. It was crazy, but I could picture it, I felt it, I smelled it, you know, like in the warm inside and all that sort of stuff. It was quite cool. So, part of the journey.
But yeah, the deck is pretty basic. There's nothing really too fancy. I got a little bit of the 3D system happening with the sheet for the jib.
Yep.
Couple
There's
little
the 3D big donut. Jeepers.
Big donut.
That's
yeah.
a big
Well,
one.
they messed up the order. They sent me one that was
order.
3 times the size that I ordered.
That's all right.
And
Tell
but
everyone
just
else
some
it's
basic
fast.
clutches. Blue Shark kit, plus a bunch of other stuff that I picked up.
No windows on your observation pod except the front one?
Nah. No? It's laid out. I could put them in there, but I never did put them in.
Yep. That's cool. Yeah, very solid. Absolutely.
Yeah, Blue Shark furler and another furler.
What do you got on the stainless steel, the black bits?
So it's stainless steel underneath, and I powder coated it because I thought it would look neat, and then that's where Etienne got a lot of his ideas. I think.
Right.
So we blacked out a lot of our stuff.
Yep.
And
it's super sleek stuff. Yeah.
So just little bits,
and
always adding
Hanks.
things.
You guys gone Hanks?
I got the Hanks sail. Yeah, the jib. It's simple.
Yep.
There's no worries about any lines or anything getting jammed or not furling or unfurling. So it has a downer on it.
Yep.
So I can
downhole there. I can see that there.
Pull it onto the
that fine
onto
line
the deck
along the thing. So does that go all the way back to the cockpit?
Yeah. I run all that from the cockpit.
So you can just drop it, just head up to wind a bit, drop it down,
drop
it's on deck.
Suck it down to the deck, and then I can go and deal with something else.
Yeah.
Until the,
okay. What about when you want a storm jib? Pull that pipe up or down?
Yeah, the storm jib is going to go on the forestay. It's not even going to go there because of this.
Yeah,
this is just a pipe there to help help the jib come around.
I forgot about that. I'm so not into Hanks that I forgot you can put the storm jib on the front.
I could put it on top if I wanted to, or get rid of that totally. Which I'd probably get rid of it if I'm running the storm jib, and I got a tri-sail as well. There's going to be nothing on the deck.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and hopefully I don't get into those kind of winds.
So yesterday I saw Adam's tender, right? And there's a different sort of attitude on all this, but I want you to sit in the throne. Sit on the throne.
On my
Dan, this is Dan's throne. He's taken this around the world with him.
I am, absolutely.
So forget about chopping the handle off your toothbrush.
Somewhere in the South Pacific is going to be this chair.
Complete fold up,
This chair
you're going to be
on
camping
a beach
out
somewhere. And I just bought another chair that's in the cockpit too. So
okay. Well, that's cool. I just want to let people know.
And it fits up on the deck. And
you can just I get it. Okay, that's enough. Rightio. So moving right along, we've got standard Selden rig. We had a few problems with that. Cheapest. This one was a tapered mast, which I had, and then there was
a few issues with the slugs and a few this, that, and the next thing. But it's all good. It's all good. It's a solid rig.
Okay.
Learning how to tune it and get the most performance out of it.
So you got bits and bobs coming over the top of your obs pod, and you've got the sound system there. Okay, you can jump in the cockpit.
Got
we're going to give you a full run through here. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So first of all, the seat that you're on, that's pretty cool.
I just bought that this morning, so that's going to be nice. It can go down
blow
below.
Up, is it?
Sorry?
It's a blow up.
No, it's a foam.
It's a solid one.
A solid one, and it ratchets so that you can bend it up.
Perfect. I had a Plastimo solid version of that, exactly the same. Put it on the sleeping out here. It's fantastic.
Yes, exactly.
You won't regret that.
I love sitting up against there with your feet out and whatnot.
Okay.
I did the Traveler.
Yep. Full Traveler
system, which I like because it's really.
Yep. You've recessed it.
Yeah, it's recessed into the deck just like a regular production type boat.
Yep.
The only thing I'm going to change is where these come up. They're going to end up coming up here rather than forward. It's really difficult to grab onto that.
Idea.
When you're going to weather or something.
Okay, just wandering around. You've got a big box section over your transom because of the wind vane to strengthen it up.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah, so just 2 pieces of plywood, super light, didn't add any weight to the boat at all. And that reinforced the whole stern really solid. Plus I glassed it as well.
Yeah.
And that holds my mount, that holds the sail mat wind vane.
Okay, so starting from left to right, you've got your YB3 tracker over there. YB3, you've got your Lifebuoy.
Yeah, the Lifebuoy.
Just point them out, the Iridium there.
Yeah, the Iridium, that's my antenna for the Iridium Go Exec. And then my solar panels. All articulating. And
I'll show you this one here because I'm closer to this one. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they got them mounted on plywood. Nice and solid. I could take them off if it gets really stormy. I can disengage them pretty quickly and get them down below. Keep them safe. I went with the Remigo outboard, electric outboard.
Yeah, now the Remigo. Here's the Remigo here.
Which is really nice, really nice unit. It's been very efficient, and it's nice and light, so I can stow it down below when I'm not using it, and it's compact as well. So, and then the regular stuff, the boat EPIRB, like you said. I don't keep my ditch bag out here, but my immersion suit's out here. Life sling.
Yeah, so you got the life sling there. You got your grab bag and survival suit.
Coffee cup holder.
Coffee cup holder. Yeah.
Everything has to have a place.
Yeah.
You know.
Handle, external boost pump.
Knife's over there. Tiller right now is tucked away back there.
Yeah.
But,
so you keep your life raft down below. This is the position you're going to leave it when you're sailing them. So you leave your grab bag up here.
No, my grab bag actually goes underneath the step down below. I just brought it out here because I was just double checking some things for our safety inspection later on.
And that's your ship's EPIRB.
Yeah, and then my immersion suit, which is strapped down here. I put a piece of aluminum in here because I wanted, if I did store anything in this back area, I wanted to make sure that water could escape underneath all the stuff that was stowed there. Yep. So making sure that last summer I did have 2 waves that came into the boat and filled the cockpit. Yeah. And it drained, I don't know how quick it was, but it drained fairly quickly. So it wasn't an issue in terms of stability or anything like that.
Yeah. It's only a small footwell, eh?
Yeah.
When you're on your side, a bit of heel, it's all gone, you know, so that's okay.
Yeah, it goes pretty quick. So.
Yeah. All right. Now give us a run through on the wind vane. It's a sailor mat?
Yeah, it's a Sailor-Mat Swedish design. They don't make these particular model anymore. Yeah. Probably because it cost them too much to build it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So it's designed, actually, you can put it onto a boat that's up to 45 feet. Yeah. So it's a very powerful unit. Technical in terms of all the adjustments. There's obviously the blade itself can go up and down. This can adjust in here in terms of the I don't know what you want to call it, but the action that it gives the tiller. Yeah. And but servo pendulum, simple design, only 3 or 4 moving parts.
It's absolutely solid.
It is very solid.
Yeah, super engineered.
Yeah. So it's
how did you get it? Where did you come from?
It was a used unit that was in Canada. I bought it secondhand, and it had never been really mounted on a boat before.
Fantastic.
So a local company, Hupy Manufacturing, repowder coated it for me, and so that's been 2 summers already, and it's not even a mark on it. So it should last.
I just looked at the trailing edge of your dagger boards there. They're very slick.
Oh, yeah, I ended up putting epoxy on them, on that trailing edge, because I had chipped some of the wood when I had just had them in wood. Yeah. So I don't use them a whole lot. They normally would be stowed down below anyways, but I thought I'd get them out of the cabin. Yeah. And then the trailing edge of the rudder is the same way, but obviously it's coated with anti-foul and whatnot. Yep. So, yeah.
And so how do you rate the dagger boards? What's your experience?
They have their purpose, and they have the right time to use them. There's a couple different instances that work really well, especially downwind, big swell. Like I was in 23 to 25 foot waves, surfing at 14 knots, and I found that without them, the back end of the boat slews around too much. Yeah. And I was able to put, I think it was one in and down about 3/4 of the way, and that just gave me a little more traction on the back of the boat, and it allowed it to steer better, and this thing worked better as well. Yeah. So it's a bit of playing around with them to see how they perform in different. You don't want them in trying to tack and stuff like that, because then your tiller, your rudder doesn't have enough power. Yeah. But you get velocity going through, I'll call it a slot, between the dagger boards and the rudder. Yeah. So it's actually velocity on one side of it. So it gives you a bit of lift.
I had similar experience, not the 23-foot waves and blah, 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 but I thought, you need them. Yeah. But only on certain occasions. Yeah. And the rest of the time you're trying to work out whether you really, should that be there or shouldn't it be there?
Yeah, the measuring the performance and measuring the effectiveness is tough. Yeah. I could probably get away with one of them. I probably can leave one here and maybe stow it on someone else's boat. give them a little more weight. We've been joking around.
And your Ecomax, how'd you find your Ecomax?
Yeah, it was good. Well, I had this past 600 miles, I had some battery issues, so I had shut it off quite a bit. Yeah. But just outside of Arrecife, a cruise ship was starting to come out. I heard them blast their horn 3 times, and so they were all lit up, coming right towards me. And so I radioed the bridge deck, and he responded right away because I wanted to see if he could see me, and initially he couldn't. So I turned on everything, turned on my AIS, turned this thing on, and then he gets back on the radio and says that I appeared half as big as him. So I appeared like I was like 300 feet long.
Holy dooly.
And he was like, oh, I definitely can see you now. He says,
well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. It was good.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I did radio some other ships when I was but they never responded either.
Yep.
You know, not knowing English or.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm coming on board. I'm coming on board.
Used,
these are all your. Yeah.
I used all the C deck.
Yeah, perfect. It's exactly the same as I had.
Now I bought some off of Adam as well, so I think I have about 4 square feet of it.
Yep.
So I have some in here, some down below. But it's really nice on the knees and the feet. And,
absolutely.
I mean, you still get beat up anyway. But, yeah, but it's cozy. I like it on the bare feet.
Yeah, no, it's the one thing in it. We say to any builder, just get the C deck.
Yeah.
All right, and so the companionway, you're happy with the whole deal?
Yeah. Initially, I had an older used Bomar 70 centimeter hatch in here.
Oh yeah, big one. Yep.
But it was a used one. The glass was really thin.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't think it was very safe, so I bought a brand new Ocean 60.
Yeah, cool.
Nice.
Yep.
Got our sleeping
giant. The ocean is calling, so I must go.
Yes.
Fair enough.
We had T-shirts that had the same thing in regards to Lake Superior.
Yeah.
It said, the lake is calling, so I must go. But I thought this was pretty clever. And then there's Sleeping Giant on the bottom, and some of my friends.
Sleeping Giant, is that an island or something that you know
It's
of?
a peninsula right outside of my hometown of Thunder Bay, and it looks like this when
profile.
you look at the horizon.
Just to remind you where you're going.
Absolutely. It's kind of subtle because it's black, but...
whenever Jane gets lost, it doesn't matter, the world's round.
The world is round. Somebody's going to find you. So I went with a smaller hatch than, I was used to the 70 centimeter. So then all of a sudden I got this smaller hatch in here now.
Well, it feels small, but they sort of look normal if you haven't seen it before.
That's right. That's right. So
that's cool.
Lots of handholds. I actually added a couple more in Portimao when I was there. So I got handholds everywhere, up underneath, inside.
Yep.
Some competitors were asking me, so how come so many handholds? And I says, that's the way I like it. That's the way I like it. And then when we got here, they realized, now I understand.
Yeah, that's right. And you've got the solid rail. That's my favourite sitting position up there.
I just added that in Portugal as well, so that's new for me. And I needed that.
Yeah.
I said to myself, I would put that on there either way, whether you requested it or not.
Yeah.
And for me, like with this back piece, I could stand right up in here.
And
now I can lean my leg against there, or
well, I just found I'd sit there all the time.
Oh yeah.
Hand either side to stop my bum sliding.
Or just safety-wise, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I did it from day one for us.
I want to stay away from the water when I'm sailing. So
yeah, it's a very secure feeling.
It is.
So before we go down below, I have this sense when we're sailing the boat, you look forward, and yes, it's only 5.8 metres, but it feels like it could be a 10, 15 metre boat.
Yeah.
It's all the same visuals. But it's just
good.
Tiny. And you
feels
just
good,
think it's bigger than it is.
No, I like the boat. It's even like there's some others that don't believe it sails upwind. It doesn't sail upwind well, but I'm good with it. Like I think I mentioned it to you earlier when I went across last summer. I spent 13 days sailing upwind.
Yeah.
The first 13 days. So I'm pretty versed in what makes this thing go.
Look, I'm the same as you. It doesn't sail upwind like a 35-footer.
No.
Right? It sails upwind really well for a boat that's got a 5-metre waterline.
Flat plate keel, that's the issue.
It goes. And in fact, the Christmas sail we did, because you were out there that day, with the pre-Christmas sail. If you look there, they're hard on and they've got plenty of breeze and the boats are just bounding forward, And so I found that you can get 3.
Even coming down the island from the north end all the way to Arrecife, it was on the nose for me.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of security there too, because the boom isn't potentially flopping around either.
Yep.
So you're just hooked up and you just go. I went down below, I had a little snooze.
I agree. The difference is, yes, it doesn't sail to windward like a 35-footer and blah, blah, blah.
No.
And it doesn't sail to windward at 40-degree tacking angles either.
No.
But she goes.
No, it goes.
She goes. It does the business. So,
I do want to draw your attention, as you were mentioning earlier, so I just put these on yesterday. It's not extensive list. I have everybody. There's still some more to add.
Yeah.
But I have my family names here, my manager Morgan, my good friend Holly. She's taking care of some social media stuff. And so the idea was here that if you help me out with my campaign, that you got to be a cockpit companion. So I just put everybody's name that I had with me. I'll finish the list in Antigua. But
okay, I'm going to pick 2 people and tell me all about them. I hope you know. Who's Bruce Sauter?
Bruce Sauter is a good friend of mine from my Lakehead for my board, and he's a good sailing friend. We did a couple of regattas.
Okay.
And
did he give you money or time or goods?
He gave me some cash. He gave me some cash.
That's cool. All right.
My friend Karen Gallenlock, she helped me out designing my coffee bags.
Okay.
We tried to do a little fundraiser, and so she helped me out with that.
Okay.
Her and Rob Dacey.
All right.
Rob's name is back there as well.
Okay, I'm going to pick them. I've got to pick them. You're picking your favourites, right? Okay. Diana and Bob, what did they do?
Whereabouts, sorry?
Diana and Bob.
Oh, Diana and Bob. So they helped me out. They actually did... I stayed at their house actually for a couple of nights.
When you were destitute.
In Minneapolis, and their yacht club is the Wasada Yacht Club.
Yeah.
And a friend of yours who passed away a while ago, you sailed with him. Shoot, what was his name? He sailed out of Wasada as well.
Oh,
I just can't remember his name. He sailed in the BOC races.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, bloody... not Nigel, bloody...
I forget his name, but we'll come back to that.
Yeah. No,
so anyway, they... we stayed with them, and I did a nice talk, and
cool.
We had a great time in Minneapolis.
Yep.
Yeah,
all right.
So
well, let's duck below.
Yeah, you want to go down?
See what we're going. Just to prove that you can actually fit 2 people down here.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, actually, the handles are good.
Most evenings there's not necessarily.
That's pretty slick.
In my boat, we've been doing a rotary boat thing, so there's usually about 6 or 7 of us that we do a little boat tour in the evenings. So
I'm just going to try and go wide. There we go. That's not
so
bad.
Yeah.
So this looks pretty good. Yeah, Jane J's just jucked in behind me to take the wide shots.
I wanted to leave a little bit of wood exposed. You know, the Morante is such a nice wood. I wanted to leave
we call it Morante.
Morante. I want to leave a little bit of that exposed on one bulkhead. Yeah. Mine's not as polished as some others, but mine is more of function. Yeah. And it's not quite as polished, but
it looks I think it's bloody great.
And mine evolved as well. Like I initially had an electrical panel that was up here. Yeah. I still have some stuff like my mast lights and stuff like that, but then I changed it over and I have a full panel which is waterproof. Everything is contained in there, showing that I'm actually getting some good charge right now. Yeah, I'm on the positive side.
That's pretty good. So you got a back door to the electrical panel as well, to the bits.
Yeah, there's a little cubby there for junks and whatever else, and
you got a bar.
And that's been the rotating bar around. So. And all my solar panels come in here, my MPPT. I got a small inverter for just charging laptops and a few things like that. But and a display up here, and that's for the.
What's the display there?
That's just a display for this.
For all the
for the MPPT, so I can see that from the cockpit, and then I thought I would mount that as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Then in behind me is more electrical stuff. I got my Iridium Go exec mounted up here. Different mounts for phones and all kinds of stuff like that. Chart plotter, more phone mounts. One of my sponsors, KBM Outdoors, was great enough to sponsor me with a whole bunch of holders, RAM mount type stuff.
Yeah, they look good, eh?
Yeah, and then I have them like all over the place. I can mount stuff all over and watch movies and read books and stuff.
Watch movies, cheapest. This is kind of strange. Well, we felt we were sympathetic for you guys in such small boats. We thought, we won't let them have radios. They can give them the works, and now it's all movies.
Yeah. Well, I probably wouldn't watch movies. I read like 5 books last summer, so I got a Kindle now instead of big heavy books. Okay. I gave my books to all the competitors, the heavy stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea.
Absolutely. That's why I gave some to Popeye. That's probably why he was last coming in. Gave him some big thick ones. Yeah. And then my VHF and AIS is all behind you. Yeah. And this is my living space, right? Yeah. So you see my hot sauces and my my honey and my coffee grinder.
You got a girl in board. Your honey.
No.
Oh, you mean the eating kind?
Eating honey.
Yeah, I was looking for the teddy bear.
No.
There's a secret stash down the back there. That's a good locker, that one.
Yeah, that's all my
it's a really good locker.
Toiletries and whatever else. Yeah. Speaking of bears, so there's my little side.
Oh yeah, Citran bear.
Citran
there
bear.
He is. Yep.
He was sitting up here, but he's gonna hang out there for now.
There's some confusion with that, but the official rule, so people know, he's actually the onboard race director. So every time an entrant,
we have to go.
Yeah, an entrant comes to drop anchor, we time their bits on that by the data on the photograph and the chart plotter and so on. And you've got to put the Citran bear in there as well. So just keep an eye on it. You know?
So he's going to sit up there with my fire blanket.
Yep, that's cool. Yep. That's
and
good.
some charts and a few other things for my harnesses and all that kind of stuff. Okay. All kinds of bits and cables. And
you've actually done well because a lot of them don't have this backrest.
Yeah,
you know what
I like
and then
it.
It's too far back when you're relaxed.
Yeah,
you know?
I like it because then you can lean back and put your feet on the bunk on the other side.
Yep.
I also added this. This was a handy thing. It's kind of loose right now, but then I can cook on there. I can sit, and this normally sits in another spot this way. But
and so then you can put your legs the other side as well if you want.
You can, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's everything's kind of all over the place right now.
Yeah, that's cool.
So my anchor, one of my spare anchors, I carry 2. So I'm pretty heavy
Where's
too.
your batteries? Where's your batteries?
My batteries are right underneath here.
Ah, that's a long way back. That's really clever.
Yeah, so they're kind of like sitting right here.
Yeah. Because you have this tendency, you see all this space up there,
right?
And you don't want it in here. You load it up there, and then the boats bow down.
Yeah.
Because I won't mention names, but there's one boat that's quite heavy on the bow.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a lot of stuff up there too. I have a pack raft, which is like 9 kilos or something.
A pack raft, or your tender?
Yeah, so it's like a little kayak.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
But I have a spare rudder.
You bought spare rudder?
Spare rudders up there.
Japers.
Spare tiller. I got spare spreaders for the mast.
Yeah.
I have spare battens.
That's interesting because we've had a few issues with spreaders. It depends how hard you drive the boat.
You know why? Because Etienne broke one.
Yeah.
That's why I bought them.
But he drove. I didn't want to mention names, but anyway, Etienne and Michael had a big
Jasmine
race.
broke one too. So
right.
so I have spare. I'm all spared up. So I'm loaded. As some others are concerned about weight as well. I'm pretty heavy.
Well, it's a bit of everyone's in a bit of the same boat except for Neil's, for the Tasman,
the
transatlantic, but everyone else, it's part of the game.
Well, I have to live here too, right? So I want to have some comfort. I want to have some good food.
Yeah.
I mean, mainly I'm doing freeze-dried stuff, but I want to bring fresh fruits and some, some chocolates and a few things like that, some treats and a few different bits.
Yep.
One couple from Canada came a couple days ago,
Yeah.
and they brought me some anti-scurvy devices.
Right. That's
they
cool.
gave me a little gift, and they signed my Canadian flag as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it was pretty fun.
Yep.
But and this here, I got a medal. I'll keep that one. That's a medal that I won from a single-handed race in the Azores, right by Horta.
Now you're bragging.
So I entered a race, and I did not come in last.
Perfect.
I was racing against some J70s and all these fast boats and everything else, but I came third last out of
look, everyone
15.
will be shocked at the speed of the 580. Don't worry about that. They're all in for a big lesson.
They're pretty good.
All in for a big lesson, right? Yeah.
You can kneel on that.
Kneel on that one. Yep. Okay, so here's up the sharp end. So that's pretty cool.
You can see there. Yeah, my rudder, I spare rudder. I have a tri-sail as well.
The rudder. Is that's slightly less scantlings or the same as the original rudder?
The original rudder, yeah.
Cheapest.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
That's cool. Mandatory fishing gear.
Yeah, some fishing gear and my charts. You can't really see them, but they're out against the bulkhead.
Charts, I can see them wrapped
full
up
charts. I got the
full
tri-sail.
charts for the world. Yep.
Full tri-sail. My spare.
Okay.
My extra sail is the main, so I brought an extra main with me.
Yeah.
So that's a heavy sail as well.
Yeah.
In terms of overall weight of the boat and stuff.
Oh, you got your bilge pump to pump out compartments.
Yeah, I got that pump plus all the regular mandatory stuff, the electrics and the manuals.
Yep.
And one through hull for drain for the sink.
Yep.
And then just the through hull for the depth transducer. But I got a little foot pump. Right there, so I can foot pump.
Gosh, your galley. That's not the galley pump. It's they call it. I forget now. It's a baby one.
It's like
perfect.
A little.
Yeah, I nearly did the same for my knee because I get on my knees down here.
And then I just one-handed. I could be hanging on.
Yeah.
One-handed, filling up water bottles and my jet boil and stuff like that, and I don't have to.
Yeah.
Last summer I had like a pump on top of the bottles.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pump and you're jiggling around. I broke it.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, okay. You got the ready access bin there. You got your white flares. Did they just come in or?
No.
You've had them.
I had them from before, so
okay.
I think they actually get expired here soon. But,
yeah, doesn't matter. That's for the whites. Convenience.
Yeah,
all right, well, looking really good. So, what about you now? What? Just to tell people, why you produce this boat like this. So, what's your sailing background?
Mainly sailed on Lake Superior. Wednesday night. Beer can racing. I always enjoyed the offshore stuff. We call it offshore, which was, up to 100 nautical mile races. I didn't participate in a Trans Superior race, which is a 300 27-mile race, largest freshwater.
That sounds a bit dangerous.
It's on Lake Superior, yeah, from end to end. But anyways,
I can't imagine the seas, but in a lake it can get vertical.
The highest waves in Lake Superior have been recorded 50 feet.
Bloody hell! And they'd be as steep as all and close.
Oh,
as
much
wind
as
waves.
all this.
Yeah.
So background, started out sailing dinghies, taking sailing lessons with my wife.
Yeah.
And then got into keelboat racing, J24s.
Yeah.
Sail mainly J35 with a good friend of mine, Bob.
Yeah.
And I'm a pickup crew, so whenever they're short, they pick me up. So
yeah, you can't pick up crew. You haven't got room.
I can't
pay
do
them back.
I call it getting called up to the big leagues. So I get to race on a boat that's twice my size.
So where did the twig come from to roll into not only a mini but also around the world?
What was the draw? Well, this whole piece just evolved, right? So I thought it was really neat to maybe build a boat, and I like constructing things, and I enjoy a project and stuff like that. So it worked out to be a good COVID project, and then it sort of evolved. And then while we were building, there's Etienne, Severin, Mikael, yourself, Peter was building. And Pete Kenyon origami. So the 5 of us, it was fun, and we helped each other out. And I realized, wow, what a great community! Pete was helping me with electrical stuff, and Jim Schofield was helping with fiberglass. He was a fiberglass guy. And I thought,
you guys are the trailblazers. Yeah, it's a hugely big.
I know. It's
the same.
And they all sold their boats. So what does that say? I'm not sure. I'm the only one that still has my boat. So, but anyways. My youngest daughter actually said when the 21 race started, she says, "Dad, you should be there racing with those guys. Would you ever do that?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe."
So you hadn't actually decided at that point?
No. I built it to sail on Lake Superior.
Yeah.
So then it just sort of evolved, and then making the decision, if I wanted to keep the boat, to be at the start line of a race would be the best. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know whether I wanted to actually sail an ocean with a boat, period. So last summer was my first time ever. Set sail from Halifax, incognito.
Yeah.
Nobody that was there, just threw the dock lines off and off I went.
That's crazy.
And
did you filmed it, didn't you? You did. I know you
there's
did
some video. Yeah, I have my my
you,
YouTube channel and stuff like that.
Did you cut it together as like a full thing?
Not a full piece.
So
like
people watch
or nothing like that.
What's your YouTube channel?
It's Little B Sailing.
Little B Sailing. Get onto it.
Little B Sailing Adventures. Yeah. So then that was the test. Was if I liked it, then maybe I would enter a race. But if I didn't like it, I was more likely to be able to sell the boat in Europe than I was in Canada. Yeah. Because it's not a Canadian boat. So, but I got over, and it was fun. It was good. I enjoyed, the whole, solitude it wasn't lonely. It was still fun.
Yeah.
And always something new to see. I had never had that experience before on the ocean.
Yeah.
And I told some of my friends that every day that you're out there, the ocean looks different.
Yeah.
And it was super, super cool in terms of seeing the different wildlife and the birds and the dolphins and all that kind of stuff, sea turtles and different things like that. So it was a lot of fun. So then it wasn't until this past New Year that my wife and I made the decision that I was actually going to enter some of the races. So then things
some of the races, right?
Yeah. At least the Transat, and it all comes down to funding too. So we're pushing hard for the sponsorship piece and trying to raise some money to make this happen. One of the things that I still hope happens is being able to find an educational partner so that we can continue the work with my not-for-profit that I have called Sailing into STEM. So we try and get underrepresented youth involved in science, technology, engineering, and math through the platform of sailing. So we use all the physics and engineering and whatnot that happen on the sailboat, just what makes a sailboat move? How does it stay buoyant and riding moments and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
And so we do like a summer camp type style of situation where it's like 1 week in the classroom. At the end of the week, students use all their knowledge to build foam sailboats, and they design their own sail plan and keel and the whole works, and then they have races at the end. and they really enjoy that. It's pretty cool. And then the next week, it's a 2-week camp. The next week, then they get sailing lessons through a local sail school. So they end up with a level 1 sailing certificate at the end of our program, and it's all free to them.
Yeah.
So we focus on Indigenous students, individuals that don't have the means financially to get into sailing. We try and get we had girl camps as well, so we had an all-girl camp at one point. It was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
So yeah, I enjoy the educational piece. I'm a high school teacher myself, so it's just an extension of what I do normally anyway. So.
Yeah. So you're a high school teacher. Have you retired fully now?
No.
No,
I'm on a leave of absence.
Having a leave of absence, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm supposed to go back after the MGR stops, after we're finished.
So they must be watching and,
Yeah, there's lots of people following and watching the race.
Even so you draw quite a lot of hits, eh?
Pre-qualifier.
On social media.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've got quite a following.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. People are, my racing friends, my school friends, and family.
Yeah.
I got family across the country in Canada. So it's
okay. So
it's been fun.
The MGR in perspective, forget about the Transat for now, you'll eat that. What are you looking forward to most, going forward? Well, including the Transat, like going forward from here on Saturday, what's the big highlight?
Yeah, like in terms of the MGR race itself and some of the destinations.
Yeah, well, like what's drawing you in? Because it's still obviously fun for you, otherwise you wouldn't be kidding you.
The biggest thing is the adventure.
Yeah.
I really enjoy travel, so I'm really keen on exploring some of these places that we get to. It's great that we can spend time at these places. Yeah. Sailing around the world solo nonstop, I'm not really sure that's my thing, because all you see is open ocean.
I agree.
I get to share the experiences through social media, which is really cool. And now I get to share it with some of my new friends.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's really cool. And then some of my family and friends are going to meet me at different stops along the way. Probably probably 6 or 8 in Antigua, 4 or 5 in Panama, maybe some in Fiji, and then that's probably it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Okay, that's your sailing home then.
Yeah.
Once you leave Fiji, it's not so bad.
Yeah. So it's
you'll love Fiji. It's cool.
It's going to be really interesting, and the fact that we have option to stop at different places along the way as well. Yeah. To make up days and stuff like that. I'm really interested in that.
Sounds good. What's your biggest fear at the moment?
Seeing that I've sailed last summer across the Atlantic, I'm not really afraid of the ocean or the waves or anything like that. I'm pretty concerned about the fact that the boat not being able to get away from a big storm fast. Like if we were in a Mocha 60 or something like that, that'd be a different story. We can actually head in a direction to get away from a big storm, but having to ride out a storm is probably my biggest fear.
So what's the plan?
70, 80 knot winds
there and the drogue and stuff.
I have. I do have a Seabrake, New Zealand brand. I got warps. Probably the warps are going to be my main thing, trailing them off the back of the boat. And I do have, as mentioned, a storm jib. I made a trysail, so I have a trysail which would replace the main, get the boom out of the way. And so I have some of those tactics. I've never used those tactics in a big hurricane type storm.
You don't get to practice beforehand.
I don't even want to practice. Hopefully none of the safety gear gets used, and it was a big waste of money because hopefully I never have to use it.
Yeah. So. Okay, that's cool. And what do you think you'll miss the most?
Family.
Family. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Anything you want to wrap up with? Anything you want to say? You can't go through the whole of your supporters list. There's too many, but you might have some key ones.
No, I really am appreciative of all of my family support. It's been great. My wife Carrie Ann, my daughter Lauren, and daughter Julia. Yeah. It's been awesome. My manager Morgan. It's been super great to have him in Portugal and help me get on the road. And all my supporters in terms of company sponsors and stuff like that. I couldn't have made it here without all them. And the individuals, as you saw some of the names in the cockpit and stuff like that, every little bit helps, that's for sure. Yeah. I would really keen on getting an educational partner and being able to do some work with some kids in all the different stops. That would be really special for me. Make a lasting impression, not just a race for me, but make it for them too.
No worries. All the potential builders and everything are signed off, but I should have said if you had a word of advice for anyone about to build, or 2 questions. What would you suggest to someone who's thinking of building? And the second one is, what advice would you give to the person that's actually building?
Oh gosh, jeez. Well, I think jump right into it. I think it's a great build. It's something that's achievable, not a simple build. It can be technical if you want to make it technical, but it's a boat that you can build yourself in your garage, just like I did, and it's affordable, and it depends on how you fit it out at the end in terms of costs. And then for those that are in the middle of a build, carry on, keep going. Don't get frustrated with it. The frustrations for me when I was building, I thought construction of a boat is cool, which is great. But then I realized it was a finishing project, as in epoxy primers and top coats and all kinds of stuff like that, and epoxy. And I don't like finishing work. I didn't even paint my house inside.
Oh, she's pretty slick. You've done a good job.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, but carry on, persevere, get the job done. Don't make it a lawn ornament in your front yard for 8 years. It took me 14 months to build the boat. From start to launch. So, but I mean, is it ever finished? I'm not sure. I'm still doing work on it.
Yeah.
So. But
exactly.
it just evolves to what you want to make it.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well,
very
that's
good.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Don.
I will hand this over to Jane.
Thank you, Jane.
And wish you well. Congratulations.
Yes.
You're here, buddy. You're just about to get then. We'll be talking on the other side.
Yeah.
I've got to kick you out yet. You know, you've got to go on Saturday.
Yeah.
But it's all, for us, it's just so exciting.
It is.
It's so exciting. I'm glad I've done it before, because then at least it's real. I understand what you're going through, and it's just very exciting for everyone, and the followers are growing.
Yeah.
You're inspiring a lot of people.
It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay. That's the end. Thanks for that. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.